Alright, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. I've got a couple of interesting stories for you guys today. The first story that I've got for you guys today, probably the bigger one, and that would be Andrew Jacked. This is the first that we've really seen of him going into the Texas Pro. And what we got today was not even a physique update. It was a weigh-in video for the Texas Pro. So not only did they check in, but they weighed in, which I thought was kind of a cool concept because obviously open bodybuilding, your weight doesn't matter like it does in classic physique or 212. So they just kind of weighed them for fun, for the spectacle of it. And I thought that was an interesting touch and maybe something they should consider doing at the Olympia or the Arnold Classic. But I think it was kind of stupid, and this is probably why they don't do weigh-ins at bodybuilding shows. But I thought it kind of defeated the purpose because everybody was wearing clothes during the weigh-in. Like Andrew Jacked, for example, everybody's talking about the fact that he weighed in at 299 pounds for this Texas Pro, but he didn't take his shoes off. He's wearing probably a 4XL sweatshirt, and he's wearing sweatpants. I mean, his outfit probably weighs 10 pounds. I would wager he's a lot closer to 290 than he is 300. And obviously, there's still water to be cut over the next couple of days. Well, the next day. We're less than one day out right now. But maybe this is why they don't do it at other pro shows, because nobody really wants to reveal their physique prior to the show. They want to wait until they actually get on stage. And because there's nothing to do with weight in open bodybuilding, they have no obligation to take anything off or even weigh in. So I can see why it probably doesn't happen at these bigger shows. But if you wanted to make it a spectacle like it is kind of at the UFC, where they do have to take their clothes off and weigh in to get an accurate weight. But anyway, now that Andrew Jacked has weighed in for this show at a day out, around 300 pounds, 299, now the speculation has began of will Andrew Jacked be in shape or will he be too big? And of course, we know Andrew is a big dude, and he's significantly taller than most guys that compete in open bodybuilding. So that's a big factor in his weight being close to 300 pounds, where he typically competes around there in the 280s, 290s. And like I said, I don't think this weigh-in really gives us any real indicator because he's wearing clothes. I mean, a big dude like that wearing a 3 or 4X sweatsuit, if he's actually sweating into these clothes, I mean, there's a very good chance the clothes alone could weigh 10 pounds. Then he's got shoes on too. He might be in the 280s for all we know. And I think it's a little bit different with Andrew Jacked when it comes to this conversation because typically, no matter what the show is, he's never really been a guy that has posted a lot of physique updates going into a show. So this is nothing really different, nothing really new. Doesn't suggest to me that anything is wrong. And like I said in my previous video, I feel like this is Andrew's show to lose. If he does come in off, and I think he would have to be very off, one of these guys, there is a chance they could beat him, but that's the only possible way. I think if Andrew Jacked is on, it doesn't matter how good or how conditioned anybody in this lineup is, I don't think he's going to be beaten. But if he's off and one of these guys is 110% razor sharp that have pretty balanced physique, it's possible. I think it's very unlikely because I think it's Andrew's show to lose. But if he does come in off enough, that's the only way I think someone else in this lineup beats him. So, no, I'm not worried about his weight here. I'm not too concerned about the weigh-in. I still think it's Andrew Jack's show to lose. And again, I think he would have to be really, really off, like completely miss the mark. Like completely miss the mark from any version of him we've ever seen for him to lose this show. And one of those guys that I'm very confident is coming in with crazy condition is Nathan Epler. I know significantly smaller than Andrew Jacked. The chances of him beating Andrew, very, very slim. But I think he's one of those guys that we can count on him being in shape based on how we saw him in Chicago. And I really do think Nathan will find himself in that top 3 or 4 spots again here in Texas. And again, no disrespect to anybody else competing in this show. I know it's kind of daunting competing against a guy like Andrew Jacked. He's such a big name. And again, I want to reiterate, it's not impossible that Andrew Jacked could lose. One of these guys could do it if he was off enough. But I feel like going into this show, it is kind of looking at this lineup and saying, all right, who's going to be the highest placer behind Andrew Jacked? Because the likelihood that one of these guys beats Andrew is so slim. So I hate to say that, but I'm looking at Andrew Jacked and I'm having him winning, and I'm looking at these other guys, and when I look at them, I'm not thinking of this physique is going to beat Andrew. I'm thinking, okay, is this going to be second or third or fourth? But you've got these guys like Nathan where you know he's going to be sharp. So when I say that he needs to be off, really off to lose this, I think about the condition that Neckzilla was in Dubai. Even if Andrew Jacked came in that condition, Neckzilla Rubiel was still fourth in Dubai. So he still beat like double-digit quantity of other bodybuilders, even in that type of shape. Andrew Jacked has that type of physique where he could still come in off, and that's kind of what's happened a few times in his career. He's kind of nailed it a couple of times, but I feel like for the most part, sometimes he's right there, almost nailing it, but he's still a little bit off. But because his physique is so crazy, he's still able to win, place well, etc. So anyway, I say that to say I think Andrew Jacked has a more beautiful, aesthetically pleasing physique, maybe even freakier in some aspects than Neckzilla. And I would say his physique is such an elite physique that even if he came in with Neckzilla level of conditioning that we saw in Dubai, I think Andrew would still win based on the lineup that we have. So he would have to be really, really off. Because Neckzilla is a good example of when you've got a freaky, crazy, ton of muscle, just mass monster physique. That is still worth something, even if you're off, because he still beat, over a dozen guys at that Dubai show just because his physique is so insane. Regardless of conditioning, Andrew Jacked is kind of the same way. But anyway, shout out to Nathan Epler. I've said before, I'm really impressed with what we've seen from him lately. Now, Jordan Hutchinson is another guy that I think will be in that top 3 or 4 mix. We just got some more updates from him. He says these are at 40 hours out. He says he's going to bring his best ever. Him and his coach, Chris Tuttle, are working on bringing the conditioning. And I think in these updates, he does look really sharp. He looks really good. Striated glutes, a lot of detail through the hamstrings there. Him and Nathan Epler both have brought really impressive packages to these recent shows that they've done, conditioning-wise. They both look like they're in really good shape for this show. They've both been top 4 guys. Jordan was top 3 at the last show in Tampa. Nathan was top 4 in Chicago, actually ahead of Jordan. So I think if Jordan looks better than he looked, if Jordan looks the same or better than he looked in Tampa, I think he'll definitely be in the top 3 here. If he looks worse, maybe he's outside of it. But I really feel like the top 3, looking at all these names, I think it's Nathan, Andrew, and Jordan. I think that'll be your top 3. And depending on how good he looks here, Lewis Breed. I saw some updates from him earlier today. Again, very muscular guy, grainy physique. Parts of him kind of remind me of Branch Warren, not necessarily in the shape of his physique, but kind of that dense, grainy look to his muscle. He was also one of the top guys in Tampa, so that would be my predictions. I would say Andrew Jacked for the win. I'm going to go Jordan Hutchinson for second if he looks as good or better than he looked in Tampa. I'm going to go Nathan Epler third, and I'm going to go Lewis Breed fourth for my predictions for this weekend's Texas Pro. And as always, be sure to let me know your guys' predictions in the comments down below. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, click that bell notification icon, all that good stuff. And as always, I love you guys, appreciate you guys. Nick Strength and Power signing out. All right, guys, don't forget to click that like button and subscribe to this channel if you enjoy the content. Also, check out my Instagram at NickStrengthPower. My Facebook page, which is simply Nick Strength and Power. My secondary YouTube channel, Nick Strength and Vlogs, for vlogs and bonus content that you will not see on this channel. And consider subscribing to my third YouTube channel, Nick Strength and Pokemon, which is all things Pokemon and trading card games, completely unrelated to this channel. So if you're into that, give that one a look. And all links to merchandise and social media will be in the description box below. If you guys want a Nick Strength and Power t-shirt, that will be in the Shopify link below. Have a great day.